Hey, my name is Ryan with Yushu, and today I'm doing my break-in review of my Thursday Heritage Captain Rose Anvil collaboration in the Grand Canyon leather. In this video, I'm going to tell you my true thoughts about this boot and if it's something you should pick up. Thank you so much for watching. Please enjoy the video. I have a lot to say about these boots, but long story short is I kind of like them. They were surprising to me. They were surprisingly comfortable. They broke in really nice, and I kind of like them. The things that I was worried about, I'm not worried about anymore. They're pretty good boots, and especially for that price range, they might be the best value boot that you can buy right now in 2025. But I'm gonna give you my honest opinion about it because there are some things I really think they should change. And if you are from the Rose Anvil team or from the Thursday Boot Company team, if you're watching this, which I'm sure you're not, but if you are, I'm going to give you some suggestions which I think you could do to this boot that would make it a really special boot. That's something that would be kind of a game changer and truly undeniable. So I know this was your undeniable boot, but I think I can help with that. I'll also be going over the break-in of the boots. I'll go over the wife score of this boot, and I will even do a waterproof test because I'm kind of curious. I know a lot of people have been curious about how they gusset their tongues and is there a little hole that water can just leak into. So I'll do that. That will come at the very end of this video though, and it's going to be kind of shot differently because I'm really making a short out of that part of the video. So it'll just be at the end, and the YouTube short will be the main deal for that. Before I really start, I want to tell you, I told you I was going to compare these to Iron Rangers, and I am going to compare these to some Iron Rangers, but that's going to be another video because there's another boot I want to use in that comparison. That's just too much to handle in this short amount of time. I mean, you guys don't really want to watch a 30-minute video about the Captains, do you? Do you? I don't know. But I'll be going over that. That will be a separate video. But at the end of the video, before the break-in, there's two boots that I think solve all the problems with these Heritage Captains. And I really think you should consider the two boots that I bring up at the end. Here's a nice close-up of the boot, and one thing I will tell you is I really beat these up. I abused these boots for about a month. I wore them every day for work. I took them on hikes. I took them on walks. I did everything I could to kind of beat these up. I even went through water. I did not take care of these boots, and I wanted to break them in super quick. And I also wanted to answer the question that a lot of people had about them, if that heel just kind of jams you into their toes. So that's these boots. I haven't conditioned them. I haven't cleaned them. This is just the way they have been, and I feel like they have broken in really well. Now, I was really surprised with how comfortable these boots were. First things first, as a walking boot. Now, I'm not a Western boot guy. I'm not a cowboy. I'm a desk jockey. I really shouldn't even be wearing this, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm kind of a poser right there, but aren't we all kind of posers wearing these? Okay, sorry, side rant. I'm not a Western boot guy. So this is the first time I've ever had this Western heel. And I will say the strike when you walk is more comfortable. I think that is a good feature to this boot. I think it adds to the comfort. I usually like to block heel, and you kind of strike that a little bit earlier on your gait, on your walking gait. So I think that's nice, especially for how tall it is. That is really comfortable. Now, another kind of sleeper aspect of this boot that's going to be game changing for some guys, I think, is that heel. I mean, there is leather inside here too that makes this like a 2.5-inch heel, right? So I'm 6'4". I don't really want to be 6'6" when I'm walking around. But if you're a guy, I don't know, a little bit more vertically challenged than that, and I'm sorry, I mean, I don't mean to throw shade on you. It's just what I'm saying in the moment. But this is a great boot because it doesn't, from the ground, it doesn't look like this huge heel. I mean, this is kind of the view that people see, and it doesn't look like you have this insane heel that you're walking on, but you're giving yourself like 2.5 inches there, which, I mean, I'm not going to say any joke about that because, I have a nephew that watches these videos, so keep it clean in the comments. But yeah, you get an extra 2.5 inches, so that's pretty cool. That makes it, you stand a little bit taller, and I think a lot of people want to stand a little bit taller, but I don't, because that makes me 6'6" or 6'6.5", and that makes you kind of weirdly tall. And sorry to all my tall friends out there. But yeah, so that's kind of a sleeper style of that heel. The shape of the boot is really nice too. It broke in a lot nicer than when it was brand new. Like I said in the unboxing, the worst a boot is going to look is when you first get it. Once you break it in, once it kind of conforms, it looks so much better. Now, I did go through water, so that did knock off the finish of the edge here a lot. and I might restore that. I don't know. It doesn't look great, but it does look a little bit more rugged, and I think that is something that would be kind of nice if you had just a natural edge finish on this boot. But we're going to talk about the things I would change about this boot in just a minute. First of all, I'm just going to be focusing in on the good. It's a heavy boot and it's all leather, so that is a great thing. You really feel like this boot would last forever as you break this in. Having the leather counter, the vegetarian leather heel puff, the super thick insole, midsole, the heel stack. I mean, having that much leather, I think it's the most leather that you can buy in a boot for that $235 price range. And it just gives you a lot of confidence in the boot, making you feel that it's going to last a long time. You should be able to buy this boot if you just want to have one boot, one work boot, one kind of heritage boot, and this will do it. This will last. This will be great. The sole is uninspiring, I would say. I mean, it's just like a average sole. Here's my heel strike, not much going on there. Yeah, they groove the stitching, which is really nice. That means that stitching is going to last, but you know, on my Whites MP boots, they don't do that. The stitches were broken in the first week and the soles have still lasted for a really long time. So I don't think it's necessary, but it is kind of an added thing that they do to make it last a little bit longer. And the boot is really comfortable. Now, this has a thick veg-tan insole, right? They have that leather sock liner with that pour-on foam underneath it that Thursday's kind of famous for. So it makes it really, really comfortable right off the bat. And one thing, this is going to be hard to explain, but this heel is not a problem when it comes to comfort. I repeat, this heel is not a problem when it comes to comfort. What it's going to be a problem for is it's going to be a problem if you just don't like the look. If you don't like the look of that heel, you're going to hate it, right? But it isn't a problem for comfort. And let me kind of explain why. I kind of showed you why when I was talking about it being good for the shorter guys out there, but I don't know if you can tell, but the leather inside this boot is stacked up, and it's like stacked up to here, and it comes up to here. So it looks like your foot is going to just slide forward in this boot. But if you can see where that little bit of where that pull up is happening, that's the footbed. That's right there. So the shoe is flat and then drops, and so you have like a moderate arch support, but it isn't like you're just sliding forward. So it's really comfortable. I stood on this boot for hours sanding, thinking that I was going to slide forward, but it really holds you, it really supports you, and I've been really happy with it. There's a ton of leather in there. It just looks like there isn't. It looks like there is going to be this slant. That's been a non-issue, so that has been great. The leather quality, you know, it's just a nubuck leather from Lafargue Tannery. It's not the best leather, but I really like it. It's gotten really comfortable. It's lightened up to me. I don't know if my lighting is showing that really well, but it has lightened up, so it does look a little bit better, and so that has been really nice. The hardware is finished nicely on the back. There's no complaints about the hardware. The gusseted tongue, comfortable. Unlined upper, comfortable. Everything has been super good. Then when we look at the last, so let's kind of look at the shape of the boot. I think the top-down shape is pretty good. It's a really good combination of something that isn't as bulbous as like an Iron Ranger, but isn't going to be sleek, with that nice volume in the toe box that makes it comfortable, but it also makes it just a little bit more rustic looking. Now you have a lot of layers of leather in there because this is their heritage build, so I think that looks really good, and the overall shape of the boot is pretty fantastic. Now I'm going to talk about what I would do to change these boots to make them truly special, and this is going to be aimed at Thursday and Rose Anvil's team, but of course, please stay along for the ride. I think you'll enjoy it, and let me know what you would change with these boots if you had the opportunity to redesign them. So here's the main thing. That heel is like way too big. If you cut that heel down like 3/4 of an inch, look how much better that would look. I mean, I don't know, in my mind, that is just way too big of a heel. Now, this is what I think is happening here. They didn't do a steel shank. They did this leather shank, and I don't know if it was to say it's a leather shank. Steve from Beato's Leatherwork, when he ripped apart the Brawler, he pulled out that leather shank, and it was kind of pathetic. So Thursday, just put a steel shank in this boot, and I think that will allow you to make this heel smaller. That will make it look so much better. I mean, the heel is almost coming to this line, when aesthetically a heel should be coming to your counter to make it look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. So that's my big thing. That's Seems like it'd be simple. Now, I don't know what I'm talking about, of course. And if you've watched any of my videos, you know that that is true. But man, you just cut that heel down a little bit, the boot would look so much better. It looks so heavy and weighted right now, and part of it's because of how big this heel is. So that's my number one complaint. If you just put a steel shank in there, cut that heel down, it would be a way better boot. But hey, we don't want to just make a better boot. We want to make an awesome boot. And here's my advice for how you make this awesome. Well, first of all, give us an option where you have a natural edge finish. I mean, the leather here looks pretty good. Looks like nice quality. The leather midsole is super thick and chunky. The leather welt. Give us a natural edge stain. Man, with that heel being smaller, it wouldn't look so slanty too, because having it come down to that just adds to the slantiness of it. I'm sorry, I digress. But yeah, give us a natural edge finish and tighten up the last. Now, this is probably not gonna happen. I say it like, just do it, but it's probably hundreds or thousands of dollars to do this. But this waist is just too thick. And what happens is I have a ton of room right here and right here. It's just too wide at these points. If you were to tighten up that waist, so then it kind of got bigger like an Iron Ranger boot, then that would be so much more comfortable and it wouldn't be so heavy. It's so weighted looking. That's my only main complaint, is this boot looks so heavy on foot, and it's because of that huge heel and how much room there is in this area of the boot. Now, I know why you do it, because it's for the general public. You want it to fit most people, but I still think you could slim up that waist and it would be a truly special boot. So that's my thought. That's what I think would make it a really amazing boot. But I do think they are worth the price. They are absolutely worth the cost. That is a steal of a deal for this right now in 2025. $235. You get so much leather. This will be a boot that you'll have forever. And there's really not a lot of complaints about it. Now, if you hate the look of that heel, which I did get comments on my video saying how much they hate the heel, that's just going to be what it is. It's a big heel. It is a Western heel. Some people aren't going to like it. But now I want to talk about a boot that kind of fixes all the problems that I just talked about with this boot that you can buy right now for around the same price. And let's see if you can guess it. But bam, here it is. Now this is a black leather, but this is the Crafting Glory service boot. So here you have that lower heel. You have a natural edge finish. You have a way slimmer waist. That's the type of waist I wish the Thursday boot had. Look how much thicker that waist is. If you just slim up the waist, this boot has a ton of good arch support right here just by that leather coming underneath it. This is the black one, but they have a leather, they're vintage brown, that kind of gives this vibe from it. Go pick up that boot. I have a link to it down below, but I think that boot is the way to go if you're looking for a boot that kind of fixes the problems aesthetically that I had with the Thursday Heritage Captain. The other boot, as I'll just show you online, I don't have it, is going to be the Blackbird boot. Here it is. Now you see this, it's pretty slim silhouette, but you can get this on their Rover last. You can get this on a different last, so it will look much more like the Heritage Captain, but still give you all the things that I think that need to be improved upon on this current version of the Heritage Captain. So that's my video. That's what I think. I think you will be happy if you get this. The great thing about the Thursday boot that you don't get with the Blackbird or the Crafting Glory is that you can order this and it's there at your house in like 4 days. Yeah, the Blackbird and the Crafting Glory, it's going to take a month to 2 months to get them. They're made to order, but you're getting something that you can return, something that's inexpensive, something you can almost just try out the sizing of it and then return it. And that is going to be a huge bonus with this boot. So I do think it's an amazing boot, definitely worth the money. If you think it looks good, then go ahead and pick it up. But thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for the comparison to the Red Wing Iron Rangers, and I will see you on the next one. I almost put everything away without giving you the wife score. The wife score for the Thursday boots kind of shocked me, but it was 7.5. She said it wasn't as bulbous looking as the Iron Ranger. It was sleeker looking, but just not like a special looking boot. And she said when she was like, she picked up the boot and she saw the heel, she was like, oh man, that is ugly. But then when I was wearing it, she couldn't even really notice the heel. It looked fine. It was kind of a non-issue. So she gave it a 7.5. So there you go. There's the wife score. So if you don't agree, let her know.